So I'm going to be installing a Hydrovan shower with the new Hydrovan board. And this is it here. This is a lightweight foam board with a Hydrovan membrane waterproofing on the front and back. It's very, very dense, extruded polystyrene foam board. It's so this is waterproof, the core is waterproof, and the back is waterproof. It's the whole board is completely waterproof. And then I have the bonding flange. The lid is a bit torn up. I have a neat screws, washers, sealant. So the fabric for the liquid applied waterproofing, the Hydrovan material here, the Hydrovan liquid applied waterproofing. And then I have the mortar for the mud bed, and thin set Tri-Light, which is a lightweight polymer modified thin set, which is you can use for either regular size tile or large format tile, depending on the quantity of water you install. So this is all this stuff is pretty much been around for a while, and but the Hydrovan board and the bonding flange is pretty new. So I'm going to be installing this in a shower, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, so this is the shower, and this is the floor, which this is the little one. This is going to have to come up. I'm going to have to do some bracing with these seams here. This is no good. So this floor's got to be worked on. But this is the shower. This is where I'm going to be putting the Hydrovan board, and that's not supposed to fall. So the first thing you want to do is see how inline studs are. See if they're in plane. So I'm going to put a level across it and see how they are. And they all pretty much touch except for this one here, which is a little bit, now I'm going to further that out a bit. And it's pretty level, it's not bad. And then you can check this one here as well. And these don't seem to be bad at all. But this one here is the problem. This one is a huge problem. We got a good 3/8 and a quarter, and about an 1/8 there. So I'm gonna have to fur this to get it flat. And then I got my corner here, which is not bad. And this way, it's not bad either. So job one, fur it out, get everything in plane. Okay, so I cut some strips of this stuff here, and I got a couple layers here. There's like 2 layers of that there, and there's 1 layer over here, and that makes me completely flush all the way across. I have to put some more on this one here, and that makes me flush all the way across there as well. And this is the big headache right here. I'm trying to decide whether to plane this or fur these out here. Strips there. Now we're good all the way across. And this is good all the way across, so this is the problem. Okay, so because this is so far out, we decided that we're gonna plane this down to bring it back in line with these other studs. And then if I have to do a little furring with this material here, I will. But now I'm just gonna put up these boards here, and the carpenter's gonna bring a planer to do this. So I put up the board. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sheets, and try and do that with a cement board. Very light, very strong. So, these are 3 by 5. 3 feet by 5 foot length. And as I said, it's a exclusive polystyrene board, very dense. And when you put this up, you don't need washers, except if you do the ceiling. And they put some dense shield on the ceiling, so I'm not gonna have to do the ceiling, which I thought I was gonna be doing. But anyway, so 3 by 5, and I'm gonna put this up now and show you how to treat it. Now this here, when you this is just a shower, so the seams and the corners get treated with the Hydroban liquid applied waterproofing membrane and the tape and the fiberglass tape that you embed in the screw holes where you put the screws gets covered with the membrane. I'm going to show you all that in a minute. But I'm going to start installing this here. Very light. See that? One hand. Very light, very strong. Okay, so mark it, cut it with the utility knife, the sharp blade. Okay, so these are lightweight screws for the Hydroban board, and you don't need washers on these. The only time you need the washers is if you do the ceiling, or if you want to overlap the board, you can use a washer, or you can just put a screw on the bottom and one on the top. You put a screw every foot. You want it to go below the surface. And the studs have to be 16 inches on center, 2x4. there's gonna be a niche right here. Niche over here, but I'm gonna cut this out afterwards because I don't know the exact position. This is really rigid. That's one. And I'll put a piece on top all the way across. Fill this in. Put a piece across. And then go around. For now, the 3x5s are available. I hear that next year they're going to be making the 4x8s, but don't quote me on that. I think they're going to be making the 4-foot by 8-foot sheets pretty soon. So I'm going to put the bottom piece on. I just want to show you. Nice and flat. All the way around. Nice and flat. So it pays to fill out the studs. So you got a nice flat surface to tile over. So I got this wall left to do. And we're putting this. And so all these seams, anything less than 1/8 of an inch gap, like this, maybe an 1/8 of an inch, that's about an 1/8 of an inch. Anything more than that, you have to fill with thin set before you waterproof it with the Hydro Band. But because that's right around that 1/8 of an inch, I don't have to do that. So I can just coat that afterwards and it'll be good. So I'm gonna put this piece on now. Okay, so I marked all the spots, all the cutouts to here, and now I'm going to cut those out. Using a keyhole saw. You can use a utility knife if you want. Okay, so this is, the board is up here, and it's all screwed in. Now, I gotta treat the seams and the corners, and then when I put the mud in, I gotta treat the transition from the wall to the mud. Okay, so for a regular shower, you have a couple of options. You can use the Hydroban waterproofing, liquid waterproofing membrane with a mesh tape, alkali resistant mesh tape. See, it says alkali resistant mesh tape. You can use the fabric, which is fiberglass fabric that you can impregnate with the waterproofing. I'll open that in a second. Now these options here are for a regular shower, when it's not going to be a steam shower. Steam shower, you have to use different materials. The board's the same, but instead you need to treat the corners with the membrane. It's a kind of a band of a waterproofing membrane, and they also make inside and outside corners. So, and then you would install these with thin set, with a modified thin set. These here go installed with the membrane. And when you put so you also have the option for the floor. You can have their foam pad trays, which you can cut and fit into the floor, or you can do mud. And for the mud, you also have the option for a regular shower. This is the shower that is not a steam shower. You can waterproof. I'll show you this later. For now, I'm just going to do all the corners and seams. So for the waterproof shower, you either use the Hydroban to waterproof and with the bonding flange, or you can use a membrane, which I don't have right now. I'm going to pick that up today. A membrane, it's a sheet membrane that you tie into the bonding flange. I mean, it seems a little bit confusing, but I'll show you as I go along. So, and now this is the bonding flange. That goes, it's 3 parts. It's the bonding flange, and then it's got the bottom plate, and then the drain that screws into this here. Like, it's hard to do one-handed. I'll show you in a minute. So anyway, this screws onto here. I can't do it with one hand. So that's the bonding flange. And now this needs to be also coated with 2 coats of the Hydroban. And just to be clear, when you use this system here with the Hydroban, it's always 2 coats. And this is going to get coated with Hydroban as well. And even if you use the membrane, the sheet membrane, you still need to coat this with the Hydroban so that the membrane and the thin set will stick to it. So I'm gonna show you the stuff all in that. So like I was showing, this is these screws onto here. This is stainless steel, and there's a plastic coat on here. And you screw it down to the correct height for the tile. You also have that goes on there like that. So I'm going to coat this surface here with the Hydroban, and I'm going to make sure it's clean, it's dust free, there's no fingerprints on it, so that the Hydroban will stick to it. I'll really make sure this is clean before I coat it. Okay, so this is the fabric right there. So this is the fabric, and I'm going to pre-cut all the lengths here. I'm going to pre-cut all these lengths, and this, and over there, and it always has to be a 2-inch overlap. So I'm going to corner like that. Okay, so when I do the mud, I'm going to use this for the mud, which is the fabric, which is actually the membrane. See that? It's the membrane. I'm going to use this here to waterproof the mud when I put it in. I'm not putting that in today. So this goes, I'm going to put that on, so this goes like this. That goes like that. And you put this on with a polymer modified stick. But I'm going to get to this when I do the mud. So for now I'm just going to waterproof the curb and all the corners. So I pre-cut all the pieces, the corners up and down, the horizontal, and the piece for here. And when you're using the Hydrovan here, I suggest you wear gloves because it gets on your fingers, it dries. It's really hard to get off. I'm going to coat this. And then I'm going to embed the fabric, and then I'm going to give it another coat, and let it dry, and then give it another coat. Okay, so I'm going to do the other corner. This was probably anyway. But anyway, I'm going to do this other corner. Move this out of the way so you can see it. So those two corners are done. Now, if you want to use, to do the same thing, you can use this instead of the fabric. It's a little bit cheaper option, but I prefer the fabric because it just, I think it gives a better job. But this is perfectly fine if you want to use this. So I'm going to get the rest of that, basically the same thing, and then you do a second coat. Okay, so the fabric is all on, all the corners, all the seams, all the screw heads. And this is the first coat. Now I'm gonna hit everything with the second coat. This is the curb. And when I do the mud, I'll show you how to do it with thin set and this other membrane. It's a Hydrovan sheet membrane. I'll show you how to do it that way. Although you could still, put the mud in and do it with the same way I did this, but just to show you how to do it, this is what I'm gonna do. So this also requires a coat when I do the sheet membrane, so you coat up to this ring here. I'm actually gonna give this one coat, just so you can see. Let that dry. And then give this another coat, give that another coat. When you do that, so the thin set, when you put the sheet membrane on here, the thin set will stick to this. So, because if you don't coat it with because the hydro band will stick to it. So when you put the sheet membrane on, the thin set will stick to the hydro band. And you want to make sure this is perfectly clean before you coat it. So this is dry. Do a second coat. Fix this floor. Tar paper, wire lath, mud. And then once the mud dries, waterproofing membrane, band around the perimeter, and then install the bonding flange. So, get ready to install the drain. And the mud. So first thing I'm going to do, put down some tar paper. They go down. Tar paper acts as a slip sheet and stops the plywood from sucking the moisture out of the mud. Next is wire lath. Make sure you wear gloves because this will cut you. This is galvanized wire lath. Now, put the drain in. And I put the drain in. So, I want this to be 1.5 inches off there. So right now, like this, where actually right at 1.5 inches. So cut this pipe. I've got 4.5 inch piece of this. Okay, so I cut a 4.5 inch piece. I'm gonna see if it's the right size. Inch and a half. Perfect. I'll cement this in. So I apply the cleaner in here, here, here. Then I'll do this as well. Oh. I'll adjust this when I put the mud in. I'll make sure this is level. Okay, so I want to get a pitch of 1/4 inch per foot. So I'm going to measure the furthest distance, which is right here, which is about 2 feet. So that means the mud here has to be 1/2 inch higher than here. So here I got this level. I got about 1.5 inches. So here I need to be at 2 inches. So I'm just gonna put this like this. That's about a little more than 1/2 inch above that. So I'm actually just going to put a mark on the floor, mark on the wall, to give it an approximate height. So go like that. And that's actually a little bit steep. I measure about 2 inches off here. Which I believe which is 2 inches. So I put this on here. That should give me about a pitch of a 1/2 inch, which is exactly what that is. About 1/2 inch, if you look at that. About 1/2 inch. So the mark I'm putting on here is not a level line, it's just a reference line. I know how deep my knot has to be, more or less. This way, when I pack my mud, I know from at about that height, I know I've got the right pitch, which is about a 1/2 inch per foot. I mean 1/4 inch per foot. So what that means is, see, this is the furthest distance, right? The pitch from here to here will be a 1/4 inch per foot, but because I'm putting my perimeter in level, the pitch from here to here is going to be more than a 1/4 inch per foot because it's a shorter distance and I have to go further down in that distance. So I'm going to mix some mud and start putting it in. Oh, so you need screeds. So I'm going to put a level perimeter in all the way around. Then I'm going to have to screed down to my drain. So I need something that will reach from there. This is a bit long, but I can use the edge of my wooden float for here, for here, for here, for here. I can use the 2-foot level for here, 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 here. I can use the 3-foot level for this little section here. So I'm going to do the perimeter first, then I'm going to mix the mud a little bit wetter, pack it under here, make sure that's level, and then fill in the middle. So for my mud mixture in there, I'm going to use Latacrete 3701, and I'm going to mix it with my auger. You can mix it with a mud box and a hole if you want, but I have the auger, so I'm going to use that. And you add between 2 to 3 quarts of water per bag to get the right consistency. I like to keep it usually around 2 quarts, which is a 1/2 gallon. Maybe a little bit more than 2 quarts, but I don't like to make it more than, I don't like to make it wet, so I usually keep it around the 2 quart volume for water. So I'm going to put just a tiny bit of water in my bucket, then measure it out, measure the water out, put a little bit in the bucket, pour the cement in, then add the rest of my water, then mix it with the auger until it's completely mixed. And then I'm going to start mixing my mud. Start installing my mud. Okay, so mixing my water out. Just quarts. A little bit in there. Rest of the water in. Mix. That's better. Hold the shit. Gonna throw that in there. So when you're working with this stuff here, cement-based products, it's a good idea to wear gloves, because if you have delicate hands, it's really hard to dry your hands. I'm just gonna set this down so it's level. Check to see where my mark is. Still gotta go way down. Fingers. And that is level. That's a little bit high. So that is level all the way across. Now I'm going to go around the corner. Straighten this a bit. Perfect. Perfect. So I'm gonna do this side and this side, then fill the middle. Okay. Do this side now. Perfect. Perfect. So now I have my perimeter done. I'm gonna pack some wetter stuff under the drain here. Wetter mud. I'm gonna make this a little wetter. Pack it under the drain and then squeeze down to it. So I'm going to mix this a little bit wetter so I can pack it under the drain. I already got it done before. See, that's much wetter now. Yeah, that's much wetter. Now pack it under the drain here. Now make sure it's wet. Yes, about right there. That's about right there. Mix some more mud, fill in the perimeter. Okay, now I'm gonna fill in the middle. Tap this down. Right on here and right on there, you get the pitch. See how flat on there, flat on here. Go around. This one. Make sure it's nice and compacted and full. So that is your pitch, about a ½ inch, right there. Right there, that's about a ½ inch, that's exactly what I wanted. And I'm going to fill in this part here, call it done. So that way, see, I'm scraping down from here to here. And then making sure I smooth it off. Make sure it's full. And that's pretty much it. I'll just, try a little bit more, clean it up, but that's pretty much it. We got the right slope here. Okay, nice slope, about a ½ an inch. Over here, nice slope. Nice slope all the way around. So I'm going to call that done. I'm just going to clean it up and call it done. Okay, so this is the next day. It's dry. I swept it off, cleaned it off. I'm going to put the membrane down. Okay, so this is the sheet membrane I'm going to be using on the floor. This is the band around the perimeter. Outside corners, inside corners. Now this, I'm using this because I want to show how you would do it if it was a steam shower. This is the mud. So if this is a regular shower, which this is, you could also do it with the Hydroban liquid membrane, which is here. And with the fabric or the alkali resistant mesh tape. But just to show how I'm going to do it, how you would do it for a steam shower, I'm going to use these. And if you want to, you could just use these anyway. You don't have to do it the other way. You can use the membrane for a steam shower, even for regular shower. But that's just kind of like defeats the purpose of doing it with the Hydroban instead, which makes it a little bit cheaper, a little bit easier. Okay, so I'm going to cut a piece of membrane for the floor. This is 39.5 inches long by, whatever you get. I don't know exactly how long this roll is, but there's quite a lot in here. So I'm going to cut a piece of this for the floor. I'm going to cut the band, get the corners, and then I'm going to install it. And to install this, we use polymer modified thin set. And actually what I'm going to use is Trilite, but I'll show you that in a minute. So I'm just going to cut a piece of this for the floor now. I measured it to the right width. Okay, I'm going to check the pit. It's good. Now I'm going to have to cut out this here. It's good. Let's just trim it a little bit. Actually, it's pretty good. So I'm going to put this aside for now. Okay, now I'm going to put the corners in and cut the band in. So when I cut the band here, I'm not going to go all the way into the corner. I'm just going to go up to this edge here and this edge here, so I get a 2-inch overlap. So that's one. Now because this, I'm going to use this outside corner on here, like this, I'm going to have to trim this here and this here so that it doesn't, it's not too high. So I'm going to trim this side here, like right here. It's going to fit like this here. Now if this was deeper, then I wouldn't need to do that, but because it's not too deep, I'm going to do that. Then this one here fits like that, so I'm going to have to trim this as well. which is I have to trim it over here too. Screws here like this. And you still got all your 2-inch overlap everywhere. So to help put it in the corner, this is kind of stiff. You know how stiff that is? To help in the corners, I'm going to put a crease in it. And this actually holds the crease pretty well. I'm using just my pencil so I don't damage it. And that holds the crease pretty good. Now, to install it, you need a V-notch trowel, 1/4 by 3/16" V-notch trowel. And that's what I'm going to use to install all this. Okay, so to install the membrane and everything, I'm going to use Trilite. Latticrete recommends a polymer modified thin set, and obviously they want you to use theirs, which is really good stuff. So this is what I'm going to use to install the membrane and the band. Okay, so I like to dampen the floor before I put thin set on it. You know, the reason for that is so that it doesn't suck the moisture right out of the thin set. So, you know, it cleans dust off, etc. So that's what I'm doing right now. So first I'm going to put the corners in. I'm going to do this band here. want to make sure you get all the air out. Okay, now I clean this up a little bit and put the membrane in the center. Okay, I'm gonna open the concrete and put the membrane in. Make sure you get all air bubbles out. let that dry, flood test it tomorrow. That is completely waterproof. The whole shower is completely waterproof. The top section, as I said, was if you're going to do just a regular shower, and you could use that method on the mud as well. Just paint everything and put some fabric in the corners or mesh tape. If you're going to do a steam shower, you use the membrane with the band, and this is the method for steam showers. But you can also use it for a shower if you want. So there you go. That's totally waterproof shower. So it's being flood tested. The water's at the same level. It's been sitting here for 24 hours. Perfect. So I'm cutting this in. This is going to be tile for the baseboard, like that. And I can fold it around. So now this goes like this. I can adjust the height of that. So this goes like that. And this I got lucky here. That fits exactly on that. Now I'm gonna so I cut this other piece, and these I always try to put these because it just makes life easier. Now this one. Okay, so I'm going to use a Matacrete Trilite as my adhesive, and there'll be another trowel. These tiles are flat on the back, so you don't need a big trowel. So the first thing I'll do is set this in. Okay, so I forgot to mention the top plate. That's the ring under the drain grate. That should also be coated with Hydroban on both sides, so that the thin set will stick to it. So before you install that, make sure you coat it a couple of times.
Okay, so this is a good place to end the video. It's actually pretty long, so I will make another video uh, showing the installation of the wall tile, and that will also be installed with the Tri-Lite, Latticrete Tri-Lite, and it's just a subway tile, and it's got a base molding and a crown molding and niche, but that's going to be another video. Otherwise, this video will be like 3 hours long. So just to recap, in this video I showed how to install the Hydroband board by Latticrete for a regular shower, which you would use the Hydro Band liquid waterproofing membrane, or if you wanted to use a steam shower, then you would use the actual sheet membranes with the band. And so that's about it. So as always, don't forget to subscribe, leave your comments in the comments section below, and don't forget to visit my online store where we sell all kinds of tile products, you know, T-lock, wet saws, tile cutters, and all kinds of other stuff. So yeah, and that's divsmart.com. Thanks a lot.